Any fun travel stories from this past Sunday?
Uh, this past Sunday? Nah, I don't think so. It was pretty.
Good. Well, that must be nice, Zachary, considering I spent 7 hours in the Bozeman airport. That must be really nice. My scheduled 3:40 departure left Bozeman, Montana at 7 p.m.
Oh, we
Almost
got delayed further. Oh no.
left at 7 p.m. And mind you, my flight crew almost timed out, aka I would have spent the night in Bozeman, which is not the worst thing on the planet. And I had my work laptop on me, but at the same time, it's much nicer to be home. On that depressing flight story, welcome to Boomer and Junior, everybody. We're back in our respective homes. My name's Boomer.
And I am Junior.
Welcome back, folks. Back from our fun Montana escapade. We're back in our separate homes, but we got a lot of fun basketball to recap from weekend one of March. Lots of close ones, lots of upsets. I think upsets this year call me crazy. Now, by definition, you don't see them coming, but there are some upsets like you're like, oh, this is more possible than others. I feel like the upsets that came this year came out of left field. I feel like the ones that we thought were going to be upsets were chalk, and then the ones that weren't got upset. On that note, Zachy boy, what do you think? What do you think my weekend one?
Yeah, it was interesting. There were definitely some games that we didn't expect, but and like you said, there were some though that were quite chalkier than expected. Overall, it was unfortunately a pretty chalky year again. The same thing last
Yeah,
year. And there's some conversations about if that's parity with the transfer portal, NIL era, and everything. I think it's a little too early to make a for sure decision. People maybe don't recall that it was the 2023 bracket. I think was one of the craziest brackets that we've ever had. I think a 4 seed was the highest seed to make the Final Four. There was even
mm,
only one 2 seed in the Elite Eight that year. We had
mm,
Florida Atlantic versus San Diego State in the Final Four. That's never going to happen again, probably. I mean, that's just such a crazy matchup there between two non-power conference schools. And then you
yeah.
had UConn and
Furman,
oh
another
gosh, I'm
one.
blanking.
Furman.
You No, it wasn't UConn and Furman on the other
Oh, you're
side
talking
of
about
it.
UConn, UCLA?
I'm talking about in 2023, the
Oh, my
crazy
bad.
year then. I don't remember who
Oh,
was playing then, but just it was a very low seed or very lower seeds then, right?
oh
And so the last
yeah.
couple of years have been chalky, but it's kind of balancing out for how crazy of a year that was. I guess was my point. That was also your Purdue lost FDU, right? A 16 seed
Yeah,
over a 1 seed. Like I think a 15 seed might have made the Sweet 16 that year too, if I recall right. Just crazy stuff all around. All that to be
that's St.
said,
Peter's. Is that St. Peter's?
no,
Am
I
I
think that
thinking a
was a
year
year or
ahead?
two prior. But there's another example though of a crazy, Cinderella run. So, all that to be said,
Yeah,
it was chalky this year. I don't think Cinderella is dead. I think Cinderella just temporarily left the ball. And
that's good.
with that said, let's actually get into some game talk here. First off, top left of the bracket, we got Duke Siena. Nick, this was
Good
a lot
one.
closer than we were expecting. We watched this
Yeah.
together in the Mountain Village there in Bozeman or in Big Sky.
Yep.
Siena almost got the W here.
It was close. Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
we thought we'd just watch a little bit of this game and Duke would be blowing Siena out, but Siena had Duke. They were up by I think like 11 on at the half. Um, Obviously Duke being Duke, uh, pull it back in the second half and take the win. But like, I think a key stat from this game is all five starters played in all but 10 seconds of the game. Which I mean,
For
credit to the
Siena.
credit to yeah, credit to the guys. Credit to the guys. I mean, I thought it was a little bizarre. I mean, you think about it, right? You're going up against the 1 seed, so I guess you have nothing to lose. But at the same time, and also your guys are on fire, right? They're making points, making shots. So like, I get it, but also like, dude, give your bench a shot. Like I guess the momentum was going their way. Great game. I would have loved to see Duke go down in the first round, especially given how good they are this year against a team that I had no idea about. But great game. Was tough to see the end result, but good job, Sienna. Go Sienna.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, this was definitely, it seemed like it was kind of fatigue at the end there for them. For as thin of
Oh
a
yeah.
roster as Duke has, with Caleb Foster out indefinitely and Patrick Ngamba on limited minutes, Siena, like you said, even thinner in that they only played five guys for the first 39 minutes and 50 seconds of the game, which was crazy. It would have been nice to think if they had maybe a sixth man at least they could have played, rotated in a bit. If you had each of those guys with like five less minutes, think about like the less fatigue play that would have been occurring then. Maybe that could have changed things, but I'm going to trust the Siena coach to know what he's doing over us though, just watching from afar. Speaking of
You
which,
mentioned
Siena. Oh, go ahead.
all I was gonna say was sorry, not to go back onto Duke, but like you mentioned Caleb Wilson being out. Quick shout out to Caden Boozer. The second half of the Boozer twins, um, dropping I think like 20 points on Siena. He
Mm-hmm.
has been a player, like a pretty big part of Duke so far in the tournament. I just want to plug that real quick. He's been outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And another note on this game, kind of in the aftermath of it, was that Siena head coach Jerry McNamara has since left Siena. He's now taking the head coaching job at his alma mater, Syracuse, where he won the
Mm.
2003 national championship alongside Carmelo Anthony. So he's back home there with the
Ah,
Syracuse Orange. We'll see what he's able to do there. Syracuse been down a bit since Jim Boeheim left. Be very
oh
curious to see what
yeah.
he's able to do there.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he was an alum. That's cool. We saw that news come out last week, and I was like, oh, interesting. Not shocked, but yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Another shocker that came out of the East region. I guess now we're going to bounce around a little bit, but second round, we had Louisville play, no, St. John's play Kansas. Granted, it's a 5-4 matchup in seeding, so like one might say it's rather close, but like Kansas has been on fire the last few weeks, the last couple of months of the season, and St. John's has been kind of like a St. John's. I feel like has been kind of like a hit or miss team in terms of what team is going to show up. Now they have granted pulled it together quite a bit towards the end there. But man, Pitino's kids doing it with a last minute layup, taking the game 67-65, completely shocking everyone. More specifically, I think you could the entire Kansas bench was shook, which I've never seen that before. But yeah, what a game to watch! What a game!
Yeah, an absolutely crazy buzzer beater layup there. I read afterwards apparently the kid who scored the game winning bucket hadn't scored the entire game, and Patino realized that after the kid like called
Yeah,
for the ball
I
to go to him
know,
coming out of timeout. He was like, "Wait, he hasn't scored all game. What?" And
dude.
let
I
it happen though.
know.
Got to the basket. Zuby Ejiofor played a great um, uh, decoy on the perimeter there,
Yeah,
drawing Flory Badunga, one of the best shot blockers in the country, out of the paint. That allowed St. John's point guard get the ball, drive into the hoop, get it in as time expired. It was big time stuff. I unfortunately have some friends who are KU fans, and this game was played here in San Diego, so they went and saw that game,
oh my.
and they witnessed the tragedy live. Um, but very exciting, thrilling finish to say the least.
Oh my. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I got some KU buddies too, but like as much as I hate Patino, man, like I don't actually hate's a strong word, but like, he's doing the thing. He's proved it everywhere he's gone. Like, I mean, I've been a little bit of a hater, but go Patino, go Rick. Like shout out. Um Zach, you want to talk about Michigan State at all? You want to cover your Spartans while you're in the East?
Yeah, I mean they took care of business well here. North Dakota State was a pretty strong 14 seed, uh, but after a slightly slow start for the Spartans, they were able to just pull away, get a 25-point victory, which was good. And then against Louisville, they did come out on top on a Mikel Brown Jr. list Louisville squad, projected top 10 pick in this year's NBA draft. Michigan State was expected to win that, especially with one of Louisville's key players being out, but handled business again there, 8-point win. It wasn't it was fairly tight throughout, right? Not really particularly dominant anyways, but they showed some good things though. Just turn over the ball less, and they could be making some serious noise and running further in this tournament.
Yeah, go Spartans, man. I mean, played some good games. Took care of business against North Dakota State. I mean, you're pretty much done watching that game in the second half. In the second half. Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to face up UConn here coming up shortly in
Mm-hmm.
the Sweet 16. So That's going to be one heck of a matchup. Do you know where they're playing? Random question.
Where they're playing?
Yeah, where?
They're playing in Washington D.C. We'll get to that
Okay.
in a bit here, though. I think, yeah, with
Okay.
the preview
All
for
right.
each
All
section.
right.
Yeah.
You want to move to the
Um,
west?
yeah, sure. Moving on to the West region, we have High Point, the Panthers, knocking off Wisconsin in the first round. A classic
Crazy.
5-12 upset there, done in the exact way you would expect a 5-12 upset to occur. A lot of threes from the 12 seed. Uh, I think for me, what stood out in this game was High Point guard Chase Johnston, who had only attempted 4 2-point field goals on the season. He was like 60 something for 130 something from 3 pointers on the season.
It's
So he was
crazy.
shooting at a pretty decent clip or pretty high percentage on a pretty high rate as well on the year, about 3 attempts per game. And yet only 0 for 4 on the year on 2 point field goals. However, down 82-81, was able to get a fast break, get the ball, get a layup. His first 2 point field goal of the season ended up being the game winner, 83-82 for High Point. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is not to bring my Boilers into the mix, but like I think Wisconsin hit a record 18 3-pointers in Mackey Arena during the regular season, and they killed us 97-93. I think that just came back to bite them in the butt. Yeah, High Point taking out Wisconsin first round. I think we kind of saw this one come in with a 5-12 matchup, especially with High Point and their 3-point shooting being so good this year. Yeah, I love to see it. I mean, obviously sad that they fell to Cal's men in the second round, Cal's Arkansas, but you love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Another.
absolutely.
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, obviously, yeah, absolutely. Love to see it. I was kind of surprised. I thought Wisconsin had a good chance of making a deep run in this tournament. Like I thought they had a good chance to beat Arizona if they played their best, right? Wisconsin is a pretty volatile team. They have a very high ceiling, but also
Yeah.
I don't want to say a fairly low floor. I don't want to hate on High Point like that. I think High Point is a really good squad. But they were able to lose though in the first round, and as a result, not able to prove themselves later on. So shout out to High Point. High Point, like you said, did fall in the next round, but only a 6 point loss though to Arkansas. Darius Acuff and company will be moving on, but High Point really showing out that they deserve to be in this tournament.
Yeah. It was fun to hear about this squad, man. Also, no offense, but I'm going to take a Badger out any day. I'll happily take that. Dude, another game I want to talk about is Texas BYU, the 6-11 matchup. Texas coming in from the first format, like a couple of games, and like this team is an 11 seed, and like a lot of people were saying like Texas should not be in the tournament, but taking out a team like BYU with AJ DeVansta, like come on, bro, like winning 79-71, and I mean, moving on, not just from then, going on to play number 3 seeded Gonzaga and winning 74-68, dude. Now, we looked at the matchups, we looked at the bracket, and we thought Texas might. I actually called it. I said Texas might upset BYU. I didn't think they'd get past Gonzaga. But I mean, they just like held their own the entire game, dude. Like that was so fun to check out. Um, Quick little shout here. Cam Heidi on Texas, former Boilermaker, gets to meet his Boilers now in the Sweet 16. Never forget the infamous Cam Heidi dunk from the national championship in 2024 that literally shook State Farm Arena out in Arizona. Just, yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to check that out here in a sec. But yeah, I mean, Texas really showing that they deserve to be here and deserve to be dancing. But yeah.
Absolutely. And this was cool too. This is the only double-digit seed that made it to the Sweet 16 as well. So good to kind of continue that streak of seeing some lower seeds make it into the Sweet 16, make some of these runs. So even though Texas is from a power conference still, right? It's not really quite a conventional Cinderella run. It is still cool
Right.
to see a double-digit seed making it that far.
Yeah. Uh, my girlfriend's an Aggie, so I can't really say I'm thrilled to see Texas through, but they're there, they're hanging out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
one
Anything with our
quick
Boilers
team,
at all?
one quick team to talk about in the West. It wouldn't be Boomer and Junior without Boomer talking about his Boilers. Two great games. Purdue playing Queens in the first round. Absolutely taking care of business. I think a lot of people, including some on this podcast, had called a first round Purdue upset. And I I think they completely I think they handle business really well. I mean, obviously it's a 15 seed, and uh, I mean the guys just flowed well. Fletcher, I think, had a ton of points on the night. I think he was in 20 plus digits. Um, Also, quick thing, I think it was against. I'm going to talk about the Miami game here in a sec, but um, Braden Smith tied NCAA assist record in the game against Queens. Um, Moving on, second round, Purdue playing Miami. Didn't know a lot about this other team. I'm being completely honest with you. Didn't know what to expect from Miami's basketball team. They're a 7 seed. That's all I knew pretty much about it. They held their own. I mean, giving us the business in the first half, and honestly going into the half up 40-38, I think. And
Yeah,
then I'm gonna say 2 words, man. Braden Smith, literally Braden Smith. Not only did he achieve the NCAA all-time assist record in this game, so therefore he that is his thing to own for as long as he can. Uh, but just what a maestro on the court! What a maestro on the court. There was one backward pass he had to Trey Kaufman-Renn for or I think it might have been Oscar Clough, but one of the big guys for an easy lay-in, and just that on repeat, and um, it sucked seeing a guy like CJ Cox go down for a little bit in this game. He later came back out of the locker room and sat on the bench. Said he was fine post game in interviews, but um, yeah, I mean, other guys like Jakari Harris stepping up and being the little bit of glue that was needed there at the end to seal the win. 79-69. Boilers are dancing into the Sweet 16. That's boogie.
for sure. Yeah, and it'll be great. Braden Smith holding that NCAA record for 2 more seasons until Jeremy Fears passes him. It's
I
really
can't
a
with it.
great mark
I
milestone.
can't with
I had to get that in there. Had to slide that in there.
I expected that. I expected that.
Um, but yeah, like you said, Miami was giving Purdue some serious business, but Purdue was able to pull away in the second half and get the win.
It's good stuff.
Much like I said a couple weeks ago, I think I did like a juniors bowl take a couple weeks ago, right? I was like, I think this Purdue squad is going to lock in for the conference tournament and for the NCAA tournament. What did they do? They won the Big Ten tournament. They're in the Sweet 16, looking like they could win their region.
It's
Right?
true.
Braden Smith and
It's
company not
true.
going down without a fight, and we love to see it.
Oh, to see, I love it too because it's their senior year, and these three, the big three, I should say. So Braden,
Mm-hmm.
Fletcher, and TKR all went to the national championship 2 years ago. So they know what it's like to fall short, and I think, are they going to be able to cut the nets here in a few weeks? A long shot, but at the same time, they're hungry for it, right? When you got a guy like Braden Smith leading a team the way he's doing right now, any other team should be scared.
Mm-hmm.
Any other team should be scared.
Absolutely.
You just don't know what he's going to pull out of his pocket, quite frankly. You don't have any idea what's going to come next. Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see him right now. Yeah,
For sure. Moving on down to the South region, we had Florida win their first round game by almost 60 points. They won by 59
yeah.
points, 114-55 against Prairie View. Nick, that means that Florida is going to be dominant and win the whole thing, right?
Repeat
Psych!
national.
Psych!
That's
Yeah,
so
no
good.
repeat national championships like you were just alluding to there. Losing
Yeah,
in the round of 32 to Iowa, 73-72. This was a big one.
yeah. Huge, man. I didn't see this one coming at all. Uh, I thought the Clemson Iowa game would have been a toss up, and I thought whoever was going to come out of that was going to get slaughtered by Florida. Dave just looks, and I think a lot of people had just written Florida all the way to the Final Four already, if not national championship again. Dude, what happened? You got a pesky team of Iowa Cornhuskers coming out of nowhere and absolutely taking down the Gators, man. I saw the score after, and I thought I was tweaking, if I'm being honest with you. But here we are. I'm honestly okay with that. I did say of the four number one overalls, Florida did look the weakest. Um, I did say that last week.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess goes to show, yeah, balance in the second round, man. It sucks. I actually like Florida a lot. It sucks, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was the region of crazy finishes for the weekend for the most part, which we'll get into more in a second. But yeah, this was a big one. Iowa hitting a three, like a corner three nonetheless, with like 4 seconds to go. They were down 72-70, but then that gave them the 1 point lead. And then Xavier Lee, the Princeton transfer, trying to take it all the way to the rack, at least for Florida. Wasn't able to get a shot up, so he tried passing it to his teammate, gets deflected, and they're not even able to get a shot attempt up before time expired. It was crazy. I didn't expect Florida to win the national championship. They didn't fit in that criteria that I gave, last week, I think it was, on who could win the national championship, because I believe they weren't ranked in the week 6 AP poll in the top 12. But I didn't expect them to get bounced this early. I thought they would sleepwalk to the Elite Eight at least, but here we are.
True. Yeah, I've always said this, man. Iowa's pesky. They're just like Wisconsin, dude. Never count that team out, ever. Doesn't matter what kind of year they're having. Doesn't matter who their head coach is. That culture built into that team is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, for sure.
A quick upset to talk about coming out of this is the South, right? It's North Carolina VCU 6-11. Before we get into that, we've got breaking news as of I think 3 minutes ago. Hubert Davis will not return as North Carolina's head coach next season. Confirmed by ESPN and Pete Thamel. But yeah, we got breaking news coming out right now.
Oh dang!
Yeah, I mean, who's shocked,
Adam
right?
Schefter over here. That's crazy. That's insane. Yeah. No, I haven't been impressed with Hubert Davis. I think I said that a week or two ago on this podcast as well. Have not been impressed with him as North Carolina's head coach. So with a first round exit to an 11 seed who's a mid-major nonetheless, not surprising to see. But sucks. Wow, what a anticlimactic end to an era there.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like you alluded, right? Losing to an 11 seed, going into the tournament as a 6 seed for a historically elite program. I mean, we talked about North Carolina a little bit this season. Impressive they won against Duke, but at the same time, they just had a really weird season this year. And I mean, I feel like Hubert Davis's seat has kind of been a little warm the last couple of years. And I think this year he was on the hot seat for sure. Yeah. I mean, I read that, not shocked one bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, a little disappointed. I thought North Carolina could have taken care of business here, but here we are.
Mm-hmm. I feel for them a bit because throughout the season they've been dealing with major injury issues. I think they've had pretty much one of their starters injured at all times. Seth Trimble broke his arm, I think, early in the season. I don't think they had him when Michigan State played them earlier this year. Henry Visar and I think Caleb Wilson might have both been out for a little bit. And then as of a couple weeks ago, Caleb Wilson broke his thumb and was out for the rest of the season there then. So missing a lot of key players at a lot of key times throughout the year. So you got to feel for him somewhat there because, if they have Caleb Wilson, they probably win this game. But still, though, the fact that they were, at a 6 seed, I think there's more games they could have won. And in previous years, too, maybe not up to the coaching pedigree that the Tar Heels are used to having.
Yeah, you could give them I think the first year when they didn't do okay under Hubert, it's all right, learning, we'll call it teething issues, right? We'll call it teething issues. Having said that, yeah, it sucks. He's been around for a couple of years, hasn't really broken the mold by a ton. But yeah.
Well, he won didn't he win the NCAA tournament with them in
as a player, probably?
Division I regional. They made the Final Four in 2022. That's right. I don't think they...
Was that his first year? Well, it might have been his first year.
First or second year, I think, yeah.
That might have been his
early
first
on.
year.
Yeah. But yeah, so they had some good...
That's impressive.
Good time in there, but it seemed like it was kind of piggybacking off of Roy Williams' success. It's kind of so.
Yeah.
Hasn't been able to kind of maintain that success. Board on third base, as Michigan fans like to say about Ryan Day. Although Ryan Day has since proven them wrong.
That's so valid. Quick team to plug. I want to plug you out in the South is the Fighting Illini, number 3 ranked Illinois. To Mrs. Simmons, I owe you an apology, and I'm making it a public one. I know you watch these. I got a text from Zach's mom last week that I picked Penn over Illinois, and I would pick VCU over Illinois. I've been proven wrong twice, and I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with that. So, Mrs. Simmons, I owe you a big apology. I hope the baked goodies keep coming, especially later this fall. Yeah, but shout out the Illini. I mean, completely dominating against Penn, 105-70. I'm sure everyone has seen the clips by now of the Penn fans, in a completely empty building at the end of the game. I'm gonna botch this, but it was something along the lines of, "That's okay, that's all right." I think like
That's,
you're
oh,
gonna
that's
work
all
for
right. That's okay. You'll come
you're
work
gonna
for
work.
us someday.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, then they got beat by 35. So I mean, who really won of the night?
It's so crazy that they would choose to do that with Illinois of all schools. I mean, I'm not saying that Illinois is like the best university in the country, but it's a pretty darn good one though, right? They've got a pretty good business school, very good engineering school, good ag program. Like there's a lot of really good
Dude,
programs there at Illinois. The Big Ten conference has produced more Fortune 500 CEOs than the Ivy League. I don't know like what's going on here, what they're thinking. Seems like maybe some daddy's money, rich kid arrogance, but it is what it is.
sounds like some smug Ivy kids
Yeah.
trying to get something out of that, right? But yeah, Illinois beating them by 35, and then going on to beat VCU, the same team that beat UNC, 76-75 or 76-55. Um, Illinois is dancing. They're dancing straight into the Sweet 16, man. It's one team to look out for.
For sure, absolutely. One last game to talk about in this region before we move on was that Vanderbilt Nebraska game. Vanderbilt is the
Damn.
5 seed, favored by a couple points in this one. But coming down the stretch, Nebraska ended up getting a 2 point lead, 74-72. Vanderbilt getting off a three as a prayer from half court. And it, like, I still think it did go in, but somehow came back out then. Like the
Oh yeah,
basketball gods just weren't okay with it. There was like a giant up breeze or whatever through the hoop because that thing looked down.
yeah. I saw that clip. That there was like there were so many memes going around after the game of like, oh my god, this wasn't a bucket. This wasn't a bucket. Midwest region.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you do the honors because I know you want to talk about this team.
All right. Miami of Ohio. They proved themselves in the first four. That was big. Miami of Ohio won their first four matchup, proved that they belonged in the tournament, that the at-large bid was deserved. That was so huge for them as a program, for mid-majors, just amazing all around. That said, wow, did they get clobbered by Tennessee in the first round?
Yeah.
Um, 78
130.
56 was rough. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think they would win that game necessarily. Did not expect a 22-point loss, though. Yikes.
I think you kind of thought they were legit, right? Like I think you thought they were legit. I was just kind of on the fence. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, now they beat SMU in the first four, but at the same time, I was like, this is their first actual test of the season.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to the MAC, but also somewhat like 10% offense to the MAC. Impressive, you win all those games, but still, yeah, man. Tennessee, the Vols keep dancing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Yeah,
team you
beating
can't count
number
out.
3 seed Virginia in the next round, too, which was pretty big.
You can't count out the Vols in March, man. Something about a team that's something about orange jersey teams playing in March and just doing real well. Famous lookbacks to Tennessee against Purdue in 2019. But yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Rick
beating.
Rick
Oh, that's a.
Barnes. Oh, go ahead.
All I was gonna say. Oh no, all I was gonna say was yeah, the number 6 Tennessee, number 3 Virginia game. Great one to talk about. Virginia looking hot coming into March. Looking poised, looking like a strong 3 seed. Maybe looking like shades of old Virginia past. Um, but losing 79-72 in the second round, missing out
Mm-hmm.
in the Sweet 16, man. Shocked, honestly. I kind of thought Virginia had a clear path to at least the Elite Eight.
Yeah, they were lagging a bit in their first round matchup too against Wright State. They only won by 9 points in that one, 82-73.
Mm-mm.
Clearly, something was up with them and not quite going according to plan. I think Virginia's got I think Virginia is back, quote unquote, um, but still not quite to maybe the glory days though of winning the national championship. We'll see as they continue to develop as a program. I thought Virginia. I was buying into the hype. I thought they were going to make the Elite Eight at least, probably, but that's also because I didn't believe in Iowa State. But yeah, getting knocked out in the round of 32. Oh well. I think that just speaks to Rick Barnes, Tennessee head coach, and what he's been able to do with the Volunteers.
That's a hot take. Saying Iowa State was legit. That's a hot take. Um, Staying in the region and talking about the team you just mentioned, Iowa State. Taking on the number 15 seed of Tennessee State in the first round, beating them 108-74. We had a lot of games the first round that breached 100. Love to see it. Love to see when teams put up that kind of numbers. But bigger news out of the Midwest region is number 2 Iowa State taking down number 7 Kentucky, 82-63. That's almost 20 points that they won against Mark Pope's men. I was shocked seeing this. I thought Iowa State might be ranked higher, but Kentucky just doing they've been pretty good this year. So I mean, I'm just saying, Zach, Iowa State's kind of legit.
Crazy thing was Kentucky led this game 20-9 at one point. I thought because I had Kentucky picked to win. I had Iowa State losing at this point in all of my brackets. So I picked
Fair.
either Kentucky or Santa Clara, depending on which bracket it was, to win this game. And so
Okay.
I saw that and I was like, oh, yeah, I was so right. I called it. The Cyclones are frauds. Milan Momcilovic can't do anything without Joshua Jefferson. That's the thing. Iowa State was missing key player Joshua Jefferson. So I thought that they were maybe be a bit lackluster then. But no, clearly
Nope.
they didn't let that bother them as they were still able to mop the floor with Kentucky.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I just saw clips on clips of Mark Pope's sad face after the game. If you want to talk about a coach that just looks like he never knows what the heck he's doing, it's Mark Pope, man. And that was pretty evident in this game. Dude, getting out coached 82-63 is, for a team of that caliber, is kind of embarrassing. All right. Kind of embarrassing.
He
Another
might be
team,
on a Hubert Davis-esque path.
I'm shocked Hubert Davis got let go before Mark Pope. Let me put it that way. But here we are. Here we are. Couple teams I want to talk about more in this region, at least a little bit. I'm going to skip their first round, but I'm going to talk about Texas Tech, Alabama, number 5 and number 4 respectively. Texas Tech has looked like pretty good even without Toppin for without Toppin for the last half of the season. I think they've kept up momentum, but and kind of like the opposite for Bama. Like they were good at the start of the year, tanked a little bit, came back up. So they've been kind of, you don't know what Alabama team you're going to get. I kind of honestly counted them out after the second round. Dude, Alabama's dancing on into the Sweet 16, man. They won 90-65. I think honestly Texas Tech probably just ran out of gas. I think the Cards ran out of gas and couldn't face up against some SEC ball with Alabama, dude. Impressive. I'm shocked.
Yeah, for sure. That was pretty big time. Texas Tech dropping down a bit there. I think Alabama's gonna be interesting to watch as we continue on in the tournament.
They're playing Michigan next, man. Playing Michigan next.
Yes, sir. We can go ahead and move on then to our Sweet 16 preview, I think. So we can migrate back on over to the East region.
Let's do it.
And yeah, so we got Duke St. John's. Duke getting Patrick Ngamba back from injury, although on limited minutes this past weekend, should be back, maybe getting some more minutes this upcoming matchup. Still missing Caleb Foster though. This is gonna be a great one with Rick Pitino coaching St. John's versus John Shire, who's quickly becoming one of the top young head coaches in basketball. This is gonna be a very good one to watch. I think this is gonna be a little bit higher scoring potentially. I don't know why. I'm just getting that vibe. I think Zuby Ejiofor and Cam Boots are going to be putting up some good numbers. Man. I feel like Duke is going to win this one, but I think St. John's has what it takes, though, to beat Duke, if that makes sense. Like, I trust St. John's over, like, most teams in the country to have a chance of beating Duke. They are criminally underseeded, too. We got to remember, right, at the 5-seed line after winning some serious games in the Big East this year.
I thought 5. Okay, call me crazy. I thought 5 was a good seed for St. John's, but they're clearly proving me wrong, dude. I just want to say, okay, I'm going to talk about my winner first, and I'm going to talk about all my feelings about this game after. I think Duke is going to win this game just because they're just a little bit more polished of a team. Now, guys, I just want to talk about these two head coaches for like 2 seconds, all right? Rick Pitino, all the memes coming about how he's the last like true head coach with sauce in the NCAA is my favorite thing on the internet right now. All right, he still got the 3-piece suit. He still got all the suave, And John Shire, I was talking to Zach about this past weekend. It's a little unfair how good looking this dude is, and he was good at basketball, and he played at Duke. All right, and now he's the head coach of the Duke men's team. All right, But like, I just wanted to talk about these two head coaches and how I think this is going to be a fun matchup. You got old basketball versus new basketball, and Rick Pitino versus John Shire. I think the Blue Devils are going to take this one, man.
Yeah, for sure. And then on the other side of that region, we got Michigan State matched up against UConn. Both these games in
Oh
Washington
boy,
D.C. These are some big names, right? You got John Shire, Rick Pitino, Tom Izzo,
Tom is
Dan Hurley. Some of the biggest names in the head coaching portion of
yeah.
the game right now. It's going to be absolute fireworks going off there. This is going to be interesting, and God
This is
help those
scary,
refs
man.
in this UConn Michigan State game with Tom Izzo and Dan Hurley going at them. This is going to be intense. These two teams actually played in an exhibition match earlier this year. Michigan State was, I think, suffering from an injury issue at the time, as well as it just being an exhibition game. You know, you can only take so much from it. It was a close one, I believe, that UConn won. But these two teams are very different now than they were then. UConn's a 1.5
Yeah.
point favorite, which I think sounds about right, meaning they're pretty evenly matched. It's going to come down to, I think, if Michigan State can rebound well. UConn has Terrace Reed Jr., who put up 27 rebounds in their first round game against Furman, which was insane. So if Michigan
Mm-hmm.
State can rebound the ball well, limit the turnovers, and shoot the three, those are kind of the three main things. They've been doing a pretty good job of those for the most part as of recent. However, last game they had 15 turnovers, been rough shooting the three on the year as a whole, and have been rebounding quite as well recently. So we'll see if they can get back to their Tom Izzo form. I think given them 5-6 days, whatever, leading up to this matchup, I think I like Izzo's squad to win this one.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I was gonna say like I don't really have much to talk about this game, dude. It's scary to me. Like this game is scary to me because I feel like these are two really good teams, dude. On their best night, they are both equally scary teams to look at. I think it's a great matchup from the point of like watching good basketball. It should be a good one to watch. I think you all play Friday? Question mark. Um,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I I don't know if I can pick a winner, dude. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Yeah. I say we keep rolling.
For sure. I guess we can say coming out of that region, then I do expect the Duke Blue Devils to win that one and come out of the region.
Yeah.
Although honestly though, I think if I had to pick a region where I would equally expect any of the four teams to come out of said region, it's got to be this one. I could just
Dude.
about equally I'm gonna give Duke maybe like a 40% chance to get out of that region,
I like
maybe like
that.
a 25% chance each to UConn and Michigan State, and then maybe a 10% chance to St. John's. That doesn't even feel like it's fair to St. John's though, right?
That's not.
It really
Yeah.
feels equal in this one of who could come out of there.
Okay. Call me crazy. If you had to do percentage splits again, I think you do 40% to UConn or sorry Duke. I don't think it's quite. I'm trying to think like maybe 20 points to UConn, 20 points to Michigan State. Um, actually, no, that makes it even. Fuck. Never mind. Never mind. We're gonna skip it. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the IE struggles with math.
The IE is exhausted. I'm so tired.
You had the long
No,
layover yesterday, or the long wait in the airport yesterday
guys,
looking at
I've
the
slept maybe
iPads.
10 hours in 2 days. All right. But anyway, all right. Move over to the West.
Yeah,
All
sounds
right.
good.
Let's talk about
Um,
that first game. We got number one Arizona versus number four Arkansas.
mhm.
Oh boy. Okay. Good matchup. This Arizona team has looked, man, they've looked so good all year. Arguably the second or the third best team overall in the country. At times, number one. Quite literally in the rankings as well. They're going up against a John Calipari team, dude. And mind you, a John Calipari team I didn't think would make it to the Sweet 16. I thought second round they're bounced because of how they've been playing. Dude, Arizona should win this, if I'm being honest with you. But I mean, yeah, I could see moments where Arkansas could give them a fight. Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah, I think it's kind of tough to say because I believe Arkansas is going to have the best player on the court in Darius Akov Jr. And while the Arizona
Dude.
squad might be better top to bottom, when you have the best player on the court and that player is a guard, particularly in March, that's going to make things interesting. I would also suspect Arizona to win this one, but this is a pesky 4 seed that if they're playing on firing on all cylinders, could definitely knock out the Wildcats. I'm going to agree with you and take Arizona, but would not be shocked to see an Arkansas upset here.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot for Arkansas, but you never know. Never know.
Mm-hmm.
Do we talk about them? Do we talk about my precious Boilers?
Oh, we got to do it, baby.
All right. We got number 2 seeded Purdue versus number 11 Texas. Quick plug to the home state. But on this day, we will be going horns down. Always. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun matchup, dude. I alluded to this early in the podcast. It's the Cam Heide reunion for the Boilers. I'm sure pregame there's gonna be a lot of love for the guys, between the guys, and also between Coach Painter and Cam. But I mean, once that whistle blows, once there's tip off, like, we don't know Cam. Good. It's favoring Purdue by 7.5, and I think that's pretty valid. I think, granted, they've taken down some big teams in BYU and Gonzaga. I just think this Purdue team is firing on all cylinders right now, man. It's going to take quite a bit to throw them off their game, and I'm hoping the big man Oscar Clough can keep up whatever form he's had since the Big Ten tournament, dude, because he's been locking. He's been the last final piece of the puzzle that we've needed the last few weeks, and I'm glad he's firing now, and while he wasn't earlier in the season. But yeah, calling Purdue to win this one, dude.
For sure. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. Like I said, I thought going into the tournament that Purdue was going to have a fire lit underneath them and that Braden Smith and company would get things seriously kicked into gear. Would be good to know if CJ Cox was going to be 100% fully healthy, ready to go for this one. I think
Yeah.
that could be an X factor coming down the stretch here in the tournament. But I also like Purdue to win this game, regardless of that outcome. And then
Yeah.
for the region as a whole, I think I'm going to pick Purdue to come out of the region, right? That's what I have in
Okay.
most of my bracket, or a lot of my brackets, is Purdue to win this region. And I would definitely say percentage-wise, I like them the best, simply because I do think that Arkansas-Arizona game is more of a toss-up than maybe the spread of 7.5 indicates. So I'd maybe think like a 40% chance Purdue makes it out of there, 30% chance each for Arizona and Arkansas. No disrespect to Texas there, giving them a
No,
0% chance.
completely ruling out Texas. Okay, I'm not against that. I'm hoping we don't choke here on Thursday, but yeah, I think I like Purdue too. Also, the IE did his math, and for the East, all right, we're going 40% Duke, 22.5 UConn, 22.5 Michigan, and 15 for St. John's. I felt like St. John's,
22.5 who?
UConn, and Michigan State.
There you go. You left off the state there, and that's a
My
hit for
bad,
me
my bad,
as
my
far
bad.
as I'm concerned.
No. Yeah, I wanted to give. Wait, yeah, that's 85, and then 15 to St. John's. I felt like
Yeah.
you got to give him a little more respect. That's all. But yeah, should be a fun one to watch this weekend in the West, man. I'm hoping. More likely than not, if Purdue gets past, we're going to face Arizona, and that's going to be a fireworks game, dude. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
scary to watch. I'm really, really hoping. I'm hoping to be an Arkansas fan this weekend, dude. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think
All
no
right.
matter I think no matter who wins the Arizona Arkansas game, assuming Purdue wins that matchup in the Sweet 16, it's going to be a very good game to watch in the Elite
Should be
Eight.
good. Let's go down to the South, man. Iowa, Nebraska. What do you think?
The corn battle right there. That is crazy. Two rivals throughout the year, particularly in football season, both finding themselves in the Sweet 16, facing each other in basketball. I don't think any of us saw this coming with, a fairly tricky potential matchup of Nebraska playing Vanderbilt, who they managed to escape. Iowa having both Clemson and Florida to get through to get this to this point. But hey,
Impressive.
the Big Ten is having a strong year this year with 6 of the 16 teams in the Sweet 16 being from the Big Ten. Well, I'll tell you what, the team that produces corn in their state is going to win this one, which is both. So I guess
True.
that's non-committal. I
True.
take Nebraska here, though. Fred Hoiberg, I think, has his team really tuned up well. I think the lights are going to be a little too bright for Ben McCollum, Bennett Sturts and company. I think Nebraska is going to win this one with a really solid roster that works hard.
Yeah. I'd call them too. It's awesome to see the Big Ten doing so well. SEC basketball, who? And yeah, I think the basketball just has got way more rhythm in that team and way more fire to go on to the Elite Eight. Yeah. Should be a good one.
I'll sneak in really quickly there. I'll do an impromptu juniors jumbo stat of the week, and that's that
Ah,
this 6 teams in the Sweet 16 are the tied for second most all time by a conference in a given single season. This is tied with 2016 ACC, which had 6 teams. The record for most was 7 teams in the Sweet 16, and that was by the SEC this past
God
season.
dang it.
So there you go.
God dang it. Okay. Uh, sweet. We got one more game to talk about in this region. It's number 3 Illinois, and number 2 Houston. I'm gonna say my piece here real quick. I've never been an Illinois fan before. They're 45 minutes away from Purdue, and they were always pesky when it came to basketball season. Having said that, I despise the city of Houston and the University of Houston and Calvin Sampson more than I do despise, I guess, Illinois. Dude, we've talked about them all year long. It's that big European wall that is out in Champaign. I like them a lot. I like Andrei Stojakovic and his men. I'm going with Illinois for that one.
I'm with you there. I do think Houston's a good squad. They're not going to be easy to get by Illinois by any reason. But if the threes are falling for Illinois, they can beat anybody in the country. And I suspect they're going to keep raining in for them. I like Illinois to beat Houston in this one. I also like Illinois to make it out of this region, win the whole thing. I like that even when Florida was still around. I really believe in this Illini team. I think they're going to make it to the Final Four.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. I don't think there's. I mean, the only one I pick outside of them is Houston, and we're gonna find out who's gonna come out of that matchup on
Mm-hmm.
Thursday. And so, yeah, I like Illinois for the Final Four, dude. They've just got a lot of firepower underneath them right now, and I could totally see them like doing the thing.
Mm-hmm. For
Yeah, man.
sure. That'll move us on to our final region, then the Midwest region, with my least favorite team of all time. That is the
Michigan
unfortunately
State,
fantabulous Michigan Wolverines. That's right, I said fantabulous because I
crazy.
couldn't say something that was like a normal word about them. Um,
Oh.
but yeah, number 1 seed Michigan taking on number 4 Alabama. Nick, like you said, Crimson Tide on fire right now so far this tournament, scoring 90 points in both games. Think they keep that up
Damn.
against Michigan?
Oh boy, when you got big men like they've got at Michigan and also Yaxel and more being able to play both sides of the court, man. I'm gonna say heck no. I'm gonna say heck no. I'm gonna say if they score, okay, Boomers will take the week. I would be shocked if they score 60 on Michigan. Um,
Whoa! Oh man, that might be the boldest take to date. That's crazy.
I think that's not that valid or not that invalid, I should say. Um, I just
Howard
think I
scored
mean
80 on them.
I but I also think Michigan was not on their A game versus Howard, like a lot like Duke was against Siena. Um, uh, I think this Alabama team. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be like 74 to like maybe 70 to like 59 or 60. All right, maybe I I don't see them. Okay, honestly, I don't see them going past 65. Let me put it that way. I don't see them going past 65. I could be crazy, but yeah,
I'm
I mean
posting
I
this
think
on TikTok as rage bait. This is insane. I love
I
it
mean,
though. I love
dude,
a bold take.
dude, it's okay. All right.
If
Yeah,
Michigan doesn't break 70 points in this one, Alabama is winning the game. That is my take on
fair,
it. I
fair.
don't. Yeah, I and so what I was gonna say was I like Alabama's chances to at least make it interesting against Michigan because Alabama seems to be able to put up points regardless of who they play for the most part. While Michigan is arguably the best defense in the country, I think Alabama's gonna be able to put up a decent amount of points still. It'll just be a matter if they can slow down that Michigan offense at all because we know Michigan can also score a ton of points.
Yeah.
But if they're able to keep the shots falling, especially from behind the 3-point arc, I think Alabama can stay in this one and at least make it close. That said, Michigan is going to win this game. I'm pretty sure they have the largest spread, I think, of the Sweet 16 in
Of
this
the
one of a nine and a
dude.
half point spread, and that sounds about right. But Alabama could make it interesting.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think Michigan is. I don't think Michigan's dropping this game. Um, yeah. Last Sweet 16 matchup of the tournament this year is Tennessee, number 6 seeded, versus number 2 Iowa State. All right, we got a good one on our hands here, man. Oh man, I like Iowa State in this personally. They are favored by 4.5. Um, I just think Milan Momcilovic is going to be the guy in this game, bro. He's been the guy for Iowa State all season long. Has done the thing against a lot of top ranked teams. Did it against Kentucky last week. I just think Iowa State has a clear path to at least the Elite Eight.
Give me Rick Barnes and the Tennessee Volunteers. I hear you on Iowa State. They have had some really high highs at different points this season. However, I think they're due to crumble eventually in this tournament. I think they aren't going to be consistent enough to make it to the Final Four, and I think that'll happen in this upcoming round here. I like Tennessee's squad to win this matchup and make it to the Elite Eight, where then they will meet their demise, and that is to the Michigan Wolverines, who will be making it to the Final Four. Nick, do you concur there on the Wolverines making it to the Final Four?
It seems just like automatic at this point, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, man, national, like Final Four, if not national championship, dude. I mean, like it. I don't know, bro. I think definitely Final Four. Okay, call me crazy. Let me throw something at you. All right, let me throw something at you. You know, Purdue took down Michigan in the Big Ten tournament. Wisconsin took down Michigan at like on the road in Ann Arbor, right? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about a team that's like Wisconsin, scrappy but a little bit better, and beat Purdue. I'm looking at Iowa State, man. I'm not crazy. I feel like I'm not that crazy in saying they are like the second best. Now, like I know you just called Tennessee, but if you put Iowa State up against Michigan, there's a pretty decent chance. I think Iowa State could fight for themselves here, if not go past Michigan.
Yeah, it's just a matter of which Iowa State team shows up. If it's the one that beat Purdue by like 30 points or whatever in Mackey, or if it's the one that lost at home to Texas Tech without JT Toppin, right? It's just a matter of which version of that squad shows up. I think Iowa State could match up well, especially if they get their star Jefferson back into the lineup. But we'll have to see how it pans out. They got to make it through the Sweet 16 first, as do all of these teams.
Fair play.
Yeah. So you're taking Iowa State then to make the Final Four?
I'm going Iowa State. Final Four.
All right. Nice. More so because I think we agreed on everything else for the most part there. Then, so it's good we got at least one discrepancy there a bit. So
it's mostly led. Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
All I was gonna say was it's mostly led by my strong dislike for Michigan, and I kind of like the Cyclones, man. They have some pretty cool players that come out of there. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, but you heard it here, folks. Heard it here first, folks. We got Duke winning the East region. We've got Purdue winning the West region. Illinois winning the South region, and then Michigan or Iowa State, depending if you trust Boomerang more, on winning the Midwest region. We've got one, maybe 2 1 seeds making based off the prediction then, which sounds about right. Kind of getting things a little jumbled up there. So we'll see. Hopefully, we're getting some good games this upcoming weekend.
Dude, I'm excited, man. Purdue plays Thursday night. I'm so excited to watch this game. I'm going to actually go living in Dallas. I might go out and see if I can taunt some Texas fans. We'll see what I can do. That might be fun.
Taunt some Texas fans is crazy. I will be doing some adventures, but of a very different variety. I'll be going up to Tahoe this weekend with some friends. Flying up early on Thursday so I can hang out in a sports book and watch the Sweet 16 games. Just so happens Michigan State is playing that day, which will be electric to watch. So I'm very excited about that.
Clutch. Yeah. All right. Final thoughts, man. I mean, it's going to be a fun weekend of games, dude.
Yeah. I think we've got a lot of pretty even matchups for the most part too. So I think it's going to be some absolutely classic games this weekend and some really good matchups. And see, maybe there's some fun surprises in here too.
Dude, I would kill to see a Duke upset from St. John's. That'd
be big time. I would love to see that too. All right.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in.
That'll wrap it up for us. Thank you as always for listening, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, make sure to follow, review, rate, subscribe, like, comment, whatever on YouTube and Spotify. We got our social medias, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, as well as posting updates on Facebook. Make sure you check those out and feel free to comment on this video or email us at officialboomerandjunior@gmail.com. Happy to answer any questions or take some feedback. So appreciate you all for tuning in. Enjoy the madness while it lasts because we've only got a couple more weekends of this. It's been great.